What is going on with y'all? My name is Paul, and this is another episode of the Undiscovered Artist Segment. With me today is another Paul, actually Paulyae, right to the right of me. Go ahead and give us a little bit of info on where you come from, who you are as an artist, and just tell us about you. Give us an intro.
Yeah, my name is Paulyae. I'm an R&B pop singer songwriter. I come from Grand Prarie, and I'm just a free spirit, man. Like, I just love making people feel good. I love helping people through my music, and I'm just like a humanitarian, if you will.
Humanitarian, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did some research on you, Paulyae, and I've been listening to you. I met you at an open mic actually in Arlington, Texas. The One Love, remember that? Actually got burned down like a few months ago. Someone left something left something on in the back, and the whole place burned down. I
like that place too.
But that was a cool place.
It was.
That's when I first met you, and that was around the time when you came out with your first album in 2022. It's In Your Feeling. What is it? What is the title?
In Your Feelings. The Feeling.
The Feeling. Okay. And
yeah.
then you started releasing just a bunch of singles, and then in 2024, which is this year, you came out with an EP, Love Paulyae, I believe. So could you tell us, starting with the music, the process of when you started and to now, like how has that been for you so far? What has changed? I know that's probably a really broad topic, but just tell us how your journey has gone.
Yeah, so I started off just like feeling I'm always a free spirit, but I was feeling very free spirited. So that's why I called my my first album The Feeling. And that was just me talking about how it's okay to just like, love yourself and just like be okay with just yourself. You don't need any outside influences, that sort of thing. And then as, I kept creating and things, like I just started having, normal human experiences. And I'm like, you know what? It's okay to talk about feelings. It's okay to talk about love. It's okay to talk about maybe some pain, get a little personal. And I noticed that people were relating to that as well. So I just started getting a little bit more vulnerable in my music as time went on, and kind of just feeding off of what I was going through in just my everyday life.
That's awesome, because the best music is when you're vulnerable and you lay it out.
That's what I learned. I'm like, okay, people are really connecting to this vulnerability that I try to get away from so much. So I try to definitely branch into that more often than not now.
It's harder to do because of that. Like you said, it's harder to do that. And, the biggest trend when it comes to your music is love. Love is pretty much everything in your music. That's all you talk about is love.
Self-love, love for others. Love makes the world go round.
And peace. You talk a lot about peace in your music. So I was wondering if anyone has ever hit you up like, are you talking about me in this song? I miss you, Paulyae. Remember what we had? Like, has that ever happened?
The wrong people have like assumed that some of my music was about them, but it's never the right person. That's what's funny about it.
So how do you go about that? Like, do you hurt their feelings? Do you like, oh no, it's not you? Like, what?
Yeah, like I would tell them this is definitely not about you. Yeah, I'll definitely tell somebody if it's not. I won't let them believe that. But yeah, nobody that the song is any song's actually been inspired from has pinpointed the fact that it's about them, which is really funny to me.
Are you married by chance? Or do you have okay. That was a hard no.
We'll manifest it though for one day.
Oh, for sure. I was gonna ask if this music was all about one person, but since
no, it's about like, I connect with different people and different things, and like you'd honestly be surprised. Like, for example, like a couple of my party songs, like Can't Kill My Vibe.
I don't got time for no bad energy tonight. You can be by my side, but you don't even gotta come ride with me.
Or like Up With Me, the most recent one, not the most recent one, but one of the more recent ones I released this past July.
They trying to figure me out. I got their head in the clouds, but I ain't even really chasing no cloud. Cause baby, it's a good time, and I won't explain the vibe cause it speaks.
Both of those were inspired by like some sort of irritation or like some sort of like minor conflict that I had with someone. Like I'll just turn around and like just like do my outlet as through like making a party song. And you would never think that like it came from like a level of irritation. I'm like, you know what? I'm just tired of all this. I just want to turn up. You know what I mean? And I'll just make like some of the dopest music, like that's just the most uplifting from something that was not high vibe
turning
at all.
That negative into that positive.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think that's pretty cool.
You would never guess. Like you would never be able to accurately say this came from it.
Yeah. I want to talk about also, what are your biggest 3 inspirations when it comes to your sound?
Inspirations as in actual other artists or just in
let's
general?
talk about other artists, and then let's talk about personal.
Okay. For personal, I'll start there because my music is just inspired by any time that I feel a strong emotion, whether it's like positive or negative, like I kind of mentioned earlier. I always take advantage of that moment to actually turn it into a creation, because I think that's the best time to create, when you have a lot of deep feeling. whatever feeling it is, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So that's always what I'm inspired from. And it could be an array of things. You'd be surprised, you know? And 'cause I'm a pretty chill person. So whenever I do feel something strong, like, okay, I need to write a song now because it's going to end up being dope and the writing is going to come easily. But as far as other artists, I would say Mariah Carey.
Okay. I saw the spin-off cover you did. Or it's not a cover. It was like I'm not sure if you used her beat or what, but
What song?
on your YouTube page, you have a post and it has like parentheses Mariah Carey. I'm not sure what it
Nuh-uh.
is. Yeah.
No, I don't.
Am I just lying?
Yeah.
I might be lying, guys.
I just made that up.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
I would also say I grew up also just like the oldies, honestly. Like I grew up listening to Christina Aguilera as well. So some of her edginess I might pull out with certain music. And I don't know. I'm trying to think of a third. Like there's really no one else. Like I think it's just mainly the Mariah and like some Christina. Those were like the two main ones. Like when I was really in my prime of like just singing a lot. When I was a teenager and like a preteen and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean I have a lot of artists that I like, but as far as inspiration, I would say those two.
Cool. And you're an actual writer. You're not just someone who comes up with stuff on the dome, which is common in R&B, I feel like. Let me know if I'm wrong.
It could be.
But I knew that because I looked at your Spotify and it said composer and lyricist, Paulyae, and then your last name starts with a D?
Dawkins.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool because, you know, these days not a lot of people write their own music, right? And a lot of people go to ghost writers or they have someone just help them out with that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about in the studio. Is it strictly you, like in the studio? Are you the type of person that's like, everyone get out, I'm gonna do this myself? Or are you the type of person that's like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this?
So I actually write from home. So like before I even go to the studio, I already have maybe not all my backup vocals, but I always have the lyrics and the basis of the song. So basically I'll listen to a beat that I like, right? And then I'll come up with the melody first. And so whatever beat speaks to me, I'll come up with a melody that I think goes catchy with it. And then I already know what topic I want to write about. And the writing just comes the easiest. So I'll put the lyrics on top of the melody that I already came up with. And I'll record it and I'll just call it, you know, my rough blueprint. So I'll know it in my head. So when I go in the studio, I already know how I want to lay it down. And I'll probably like record some backup vocal ideas. But I might freestyle some backup vocals in the studio though, for sure.
Oh, cool. And it probably saves you a lot of money too, because you know studio time is not free. It's usually by the hour, unless you're just with somebody that's hooking you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it's
to have that already and going into it, you probably save yourself a lot of money.
Yeah, if you think about it that way, I for sure do. Like, 'cause I already know what's going on as soon as I get in there. I'm like, okay, I sent you the beat. Let's just start. Let's just do it.
Your music is very non-vulgar. I've looked at a lot of your music and even like the music videos. I'm not sure about maybe on Spotify or other platforms, but when it sounds like you're about to say a cuss word, you like slur it or like it goes to something else.
Yeah.
And it's very smooth.
Yeah.
What makes you not be like everyone else and talk about vulgar things, especially now in music?
I just think it's important to just be able to present your music to a wide audience. You know what I mean? Like I want to be able to have families listen to it, or like maybe schools can play it for different things. I don't want to have to, you know, monitor everything and have people be like, oh, well, it's too dirty and only like a certain, it kind of narrows your audience when you're like being extra vulgar. Yeah. So kids could listen to it, older people could listen to it, and I could just show it to anyone. And I think that's beautiful, you know, because whatever situation I could say, here, I could play my music for you safely without being like, oh, it's a little bit, you know, or like having to warn them or anything.
When was the first time you were like, yep, I'm doing this with my life. I'm going to make music. What was that moment you were like, yes?
Well, I've always loved to sing. I always like, since I was little, like I used to practice performing in my room and just pretend that I was like singing in front of an audience and stuff like that. So like I always envisioned it since I was small, but along the way, like I kind of just started, you know, playing sports in college, and that just becomes your life for a while. Yeah. And then I naturally went back into singing covers, right? Like that's how it started. And like music has always just called me. Like once everything else is done, I just went back to it. And I didn't think about it like that until I met up with a friend who was a guitarist, and he was like, you know what? He planted the seed in my head that he's like, you're really marketable. You could really be a music artist. Like you can make your own music. Like it would work for you because of this and that. And, you know, I'm like, okay. Like I took what he said. And then a couple of months later, one day I'm like, you know what? Let me just try to make a song. And then it's just been ever since. Yeah. Just song.
What was the first song?
This Time.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the first song I ever wrote. Yeah.
Hey, you can do what you wanna, and I'ma be just fine. Do what you wanna, but
So you came out with a good song, your first song. Very not common. We'll let you know. My first song was trash.
Really?
You know, a lot of people's first song is not good. So you
Yeah.
come out with something good first. That's pretty impressive. Now let's go back to the college thing and sports.
Yes.
You played for who and what sport did you play?
Yeah, I played for SAGU, Southwestern Assemblies of God University. It is such a mouthful. Waxahachie, Texas.
Waxahachie.
Yep.
Okay.
I played volleyball there. I was first team all conference every year, and I was all American as well. All region, everything. Like, it was just a really fun time. I wouldn't say it was like the peak of my life, but it was one of them. Like, it was a peak. You know what I mean? But I believe in creating other best times of your life after college and not just accepting it as was the best time of my life.
That's sad.
It is. And a lot of
Very
people do
sad.
that. They just kind of hang it up, you know? It's like you can create more realities for yourself. And I feel like that's what I'm doing now.
And were you making music in college as well?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you were very late to the game.
I put it
type
to the
deal.
side. Yeah. Like,
Cool.
because I was just, you know, when you're in sports, that's literally your life. Anybody
Yeah.
who plays college sports, like, that's not even class is your life. Like, sports is your life.
When it comes to your music too, when you came out with your first song, what did your support system look like?
I'm actually blessed to have had like a good support system, honestly.
Awesome.
Like, I haven't had any family members or anybody look at me like, you know what I mean? Like,
You're
everybody
doing that little music thing.
Yeah, like, nobody did that. I'm so grateful because I'm like, dang, like, I know a lot of people experience that, you know, especially
Yeah.
with close people, and I know that's probably tough. So my mom's always been super supportive, family, close friends, anybody that I showed my music to, like, they've showed up to my music videos, any parties that I've had, they've showed up, and like, it's just grown since then. So that's one thing I've always recognized that like isn't that common, especially when you're starting. So I've always just been really grateful for that, honestly.
I think what also helps is you're very non-shy.
I'm
And
not shy at all. Thanks for noticing.
Yeah, I could just picture you just saying, "Here's my song," boom, and your confidence probably makes them confident in your music. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. I
'Cause
never thought about it that way.
A lot of new musicians aren't very confident. Their stuff, "Here's my song, you know, let me know what you think." And
Yeah.
whereas Paulyae was probably like, "Here's my song, it just came out. It's really good. Hope you
I
like
was
it too."
like that. The very first song that I recorded, I think it was my debut song, was "Be Free." I remember when I recorded it.
Such a good song.
When it came, thank you.
Do you know how it feels to be free? It's all about the energy. Submit to positivity. Yeah, do you know what it feel like?
When it came out, I just remember being so excited because it was my first recording session. It was the same day I went skydiving, by the way. So it was just like a
Okay.
whole thing. So when it finally was done, I went straight to my mom's house and I was just like, listen to this. I'm like, this is so good. Everything's going to go so good. Like, I was just super pumped and she really liked it. So yeah, I guess I did have that kind of energy for sure. I was never like shy about it, you know?
Yeah, and that song "Be Free" has, I think, 11,000 streams on Spotify.
Does it?
Yes,
That's awesome.
And your
That song is...
I forgot what it's called. The one with the music video. I mean, the one with the party music video where they're pouring punch into
Yeah, Can't Kill My Vibe.
That one's got like 27,000 on
Really?
YouTube. Yes.
Yeah, no, that is... I love that song. That's a song I usually give DJs around DFW.
I don't got time for no bad energy tonight.
When I go out, I'll give them
Yeah.
Can't Kill My Vibe or Left Right.
And that's why you ain't left or right. Yeah, you know you're just my type. Gotta give me some.
Like, and they always love it. So I'm like, when I made that song, I didn't even intend for it to be a party, like a, you know, like a club song or anything
Yeah.
like that. But it just turned into that. So that's always dope, you know?
Yeah, that's super dope. You know, a lot of people ask rappers this question, and I thought it'd be cool to ask an R&B singer this question.
Okay.
About your celebrity crush.
My celebrity crush used to be Chris Brown. And like, obviously, I'm always going to love Chris Brown because he's Chris
Yeah.
Brown. You know what I mean? But
You know what? You're the first female to say that in a long time to me. A lot of females hate Chris Brown.
Really?
Because of the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
Rihanna thing.
Oh yeah,
You know?
that's sad. You know, yeah. I just feel like if he, you know, is apologetic and like he went through the steps to like, you know, it was hard for him to forgive himself. You could tell,
Yeah.
and he was scrutinized by the public. Like, he literally got what he got for it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
I can't say that he didn't feel bad or like he's just unscathed. So I think everybody kind of deserves forgiveness after a certain point because it was such a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was a big deal. That's crazy. But I'm trying to think. Do I have a current celebrity crush? Really? Like. Not really. Like,
You
Chris
just be
Brown's
doing
probably
you?
the closest I have. Yeah.
You just be doing you.
I do. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, he was the last one that I had. It used to be Bow Wow when I was really little.
Bow Wow is crazy.
When I was little, like when he was little Bow Wow.
I was like,
You weren't
one.
even born. Were you born?
I was probably like 1 or like.
You were 1. I was like 4. So
Yeah.
you weren't.
No, I was probably 0 if you were 4.
Yeah, I was little. I was super little. And like he had the little braids and stuff. But then that crush wore out like mid high school. And then.
And he fell off anyway. So.
Then Chris Brown came into play. So that's about it, honestly.
Now, when it comes to the music industry, you are getting the numbers right now that a lot of people don't when they're first early on in music. You know, what is the craziest things you have seen in the music industry, and what are the coolest people you have met so far trying to do music?
Ooh, so the craziest things that I've seen is just a lot of the and the DFW in particular, like when someone's new in the artistry, like people definitely try to get over on you, and they try to test you, like, you know, if they see that you're naive, you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
they'll try to get you to fork out money for things you can probably do yourself. And I try to tell a lot of people that, like, you know, don't pay somebody a lot of money for things that you can really do yourself. And like people have to realize that when they're the powerful and when they're the ones that hold the actual power, like for, you know, when it comes to their artistry and their creativity and stuff, because some people will try to come along and say like, you know, you have the talent, but like you really need me, but really they need you. And they're just trying to shift your mind into thinking that they're the ones you need, but they're really trying to use you for their own benefit. And you're the one that has everything that they want to assess. You know what I mean?
That, you said it perfectly. That sounds like a mess. Did you realize that by being naive, or just by experience with people in general, and just by having the smartness to not go that path?
I've seen it happen to other people very close by. You know what I mean? I have like certain mentors that like kind of would tell me what to watch out for. So I learned a lot of the business side and a lot of things pretty early on. And I've seen fellow artists kind of get taken advantage of by people who were doing these types of things. And, you know, I had to learn on my own that, you know, like everything is within yourself. So like I try to spread that to people that I see that don't really realize that yet, because they have all the talent and they have the skill, and someone needs that for their benefit, but they don't realize that person needs that, and they're just switching it like, no, you need me, really, you know what I mean? And that's not the case always. So I mean, sometimes there is somebody that you can benefit from, but it's just really important to know the difference, because a lot of times it won't be somebody you can benefit from in the beginning, and they're just trying to make you feel that way, you know what I mean?
For sure.
So especially in the DFW, I've noticed it's really prevalent.
Yes, I agree. And then shifting to the coolest people you've met.
Yeah, so I met like a lot of cool people. That is like such a hard question. I know Slim 1000, the DJ who's on K104. He's really cool.
Cool.
That's a big connection of mine. And in the beginning, there's someone named Mr. M, and like he kind of got me in a lot of showcases when I didn't really know where to go. Like when I first started, you know. Like, and I was just going to open mics. Like he showed me, you know, where all the different showcases were and people who did those sorts of things, and like helped me kind of kickstart my networking. So I always mention him because of that. Let's see. I don't know, like it's really hard to just think, but those two are the two that kind of stick out to me when I think of like people who have like made a difference, like connections that I feel like are really valuable for me.
Yeah. Who's that? You know, I keep seeing, like, especially in the past, this one guy who has this UK accent. He's like Paulyae, and he plays your music.
Oh my God. Yes.
Who is
Thank
that
you
guy?
for mentioning him. Steve Street. He's based out of the UK, and he has Global Soul Radio out there, and like he was my first UK connection. That is so awesome.
First.
Shout out to Stevie, man. I hope he's doing well.
You said first? So you have multiple connections on the UK?
It branched out like after he started sharing my stuff, like, you know, other UK DJs or like people who had other radio stations in the UK started playing my stuff too. So he's really, so he's definitely in the top 3. Those two that I mentioned, and Stevie for sure. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm glad.
How could I not think of him? That's crazy. He's awesome. And yeah, there's people like someone in London was playing my song No More, and I was like, that's so awesome. Like somebody all the way over there is listening to my song. And it was so early on too. So it's like, just imagine, you know.
That just gives you like, yes, I can.
It gives
do
you so
this.
much fuel.
I
It's
can
like,
do
oh my
this.
God, yeah, like me. You're listening
I'm
to
him.
me.
I'm her.
I'm her. Yeah, Hertrude.
Hertrude. I don't think I've ever heard that
You know how
one.
they do Himothy? I'm like, what's the one for her?
Okay.
I can't think of a her name. I was like, Hertrude.
Hertrude. What would be the name without the her in it? Trude.
Gertrude. That's an old
That's a
lady
name?
name. It's like
That's
for
a
old
grandma
ladies.
name.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the only one I could think of.
Is your grandma's name Gertrude?
No.
Okay.
There's some old lady out there named Gertrude.
Yeah, somewhere out there. What is your Spotify? What is it called at the end of the year when your Spotify comes back? It's
The
like
favorites, like people would be like the songs they play the most or something like that.
I know I'm gonna it's the Spotify Wrapped. You know what that is?
I don't really use Spotify that much. I'm an Apple Music person.
Well, at the end of the year on Spotify, as an artist, they send you a Spotify Wrapped, and it shows you where people are listening to you, how many times your top 3 listeners, how many times they streamed your song. So if you don't know what Spotify Wrapped is,
I never
you
knew
have
that.
to
Thank you for
check that
telling
out
me
this
that.
year. It's super cool, and they make you feel so special.
I would like to know, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I've always wondered, like, who is actually streaming? Because I see my streaming like numbers and money and stuff like that, but I don't know who, and I've always wondered. So that'll be a good tool for me to actually see some names and stuff. That'll make me really happy.
What is a song that you created that it took a lot out of you to make?
A lot out of me, as in what? Like emotionally?
As emotionally as you're in the studio, you're like, man, I just want to get done with this song already. If you've ever encountered that.
Yeah, no, it's happened for sure.
Yeah.
As far as like studio time and like wanting to be done with it already, Wanna Dance for sure. It took like 5 different sessions.
I wanna dance with somebody new. I wanna have my hands all over you.
This is a Whitney Houston spinoff, so I had to deliver it.
That's what I meant.
Well, you know what I mean?
That's what I meant earlier
Yeah.
when I said the Whitney Houston thing.
You said Mariah Carey.
Oh, on your YouTube page, you have a post and it has like parentheses Mariah Carey. I'm not sure what it
Nuh-uh.
is. Yeah.
No, I don't.
Am I just lying?
Yeah.
I might be lying, guys.
I just made that up. Oh, okay.
I was
Yeah.
stupid.
That took. Man, I was so tired of that song. I'm not gonna lie, but I love that song. Now that it's
Yeah.
finished, I'm like, I love it. As soon as it was released, I fell in love with it. But in the process, I was like, I'm tired of it because I just took so many sessions, and you have to deliver it because it's Whitney Houston. You can't just sound weird. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it has to be good. So I was definitely a perfectionist with that one.
You can't release a cover and it be mid.
Especially with someone like monumental, like Whitney
sure.
Houston. Like you can't not mess around. Because, she was critical back in the day. Like, she would be like, this person needs to be able to sing. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to let her down if she was alive. You know what I mean? But as far as emotionally, I would say Dear Love is a song that took a lot of emotion out of me, and No Stranger. Those are 2 like sad songs. I was really sad when I made those 2 particular songs. So emotionally, those 2 took a lot out of me. That's why I don't listen to them too much. Yeah.
You don't listen to them
They're
too much.
for others. So for Dear Love, that was on Love Paulyae. And I wanted to have one really vulnerable song. If it's going to be a love EP, you have to have a vulnerable kind of sad song, because everybody can relate to that. But that song is literally a letter to love. And a lot of people don't understand this. And it bothers me because I'm like, this is not a song to a person. It's called Dear Love. And it's basically, if I could talk to love. Like there's a movie called Collateral Beauty where Will Smith is talking to love, time. And have you seen that?
No.
Different constructs. He writes a letter to love, time, death, and like different, constructs in life that make life. So I wrote a letter to love, and it's basically letting love know that like no matter how much I've been hurt or whatever, like I'm willing to do it again because like love makes the world go round, and I'm willing to like put my heart on the table again.
That right there wraps up all of your music to me.
Really?
Wow. Listen to every song, and they just all have that common theme of peace, love, and positivity.
That's so hippie. I love that. 'Cause that's so me. Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, that is Paulyae. Is there any songs or releases or projects that you're coming out with that you want to tell the people to, look out for?
Yeah, so I have a new song coming out. It's a new project, but one of the songs on this project is called 27. And I've been promoting that pretty heavily. I'm going to keep promoting it heavily. And that song, it's not vulgar, but I do get a little bit more gritty in that song. And it's basically talking to someone who feels like, if anyone felt like they got the best of you, is basically talking to that person like, hey, like you're confronting them and letting them know that they never had the best of you actually, and they never will. You know what I mean? Because you're not breakable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be released around Halloween. I think it has that sort of a fall vibe. You know what I mean? So October 26th, going to be releasing that. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
We all need to look out for that, guys. This is Paulyae. Is there anything else you would like to tell the people before we get up out of here?
That is it. Peace, love, and positivity. Everybody stay up, love yourself. Don't let anybody bring you down.
You heard it best. I'll see you next time.